Okay, the code is 94138817. Okay? Punta na kayo guys sa menti.com. Use the code 94138817.
Ano to, sir?
Go to hindi nyo makita sa screen niyo.
Nakita.
Number po.
Makita man, sir.
Nasa
Ako ulit yung website.
94138817 po. Okay, pasok na po. We still have 44 participants out of 149. Sana yung iba.
Loading po, sir.
Saan ako butang ning code, sir? Kaning ano to? Printer code to vote?
Pardon, please.
Sir,
Just visit www.menti.com and use the code 94138817. I-encode nyo lang po yung code niyan. Okay, guys. Sana yung iba, 83 pa lang po. 164 po tayo. So while waiting sa iba, kinig muna tayo ng music. So while waiting sa iba, kinig muna tayo ng music.
I'm more thinking, go me have your day. Tell me, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm more thinking, go get me out of here. Text me, oh yeah, oh yeah. Your every picture, I'm like this again. Can be my teacher. God, I got your love. You want your time, sing the man, baby.
So let's start. So answer fast to get more points. So how long is the ideal resume? 1 to 2 pages, 4 to 5 pages. It depends on the job. Three, two, one. Time is up. And the correct answer is 1 to 2 pages. So tingnan natin kung sino ang nanguna sa leaderboard. Okay, nanguna si Air, followed by Jenaline. So next question. Question number 2. Answer fast to get more points. The objective of the resume is for the applicant to get hired. So ano kayang tamang answer nito? True or false? Okay. Sino kaya mangunguna ngayon sa second question? 3, 2, 1. Time's up. And the correct answer is false. So let's see kung sino nangunguna sa leaderboard. Si Jeneline pa rin kaya? Ay, si Air, I mean. Okay, si Jeneline na. Pangalawa na lang si Air. So next. Question number 3. Answer fast to get more points. Best applicant gets the job. True or false? Sino kaya ang mangunguna ngayon sa question number 3? If si Janeline pa kaya? 1, time's up. The correct answer is false. Sino kaya ang nangunguna? Let's see. Okay, si Jenaline pa rin ang nangunguna. So next question. Question number 4. Answer fast to get more points. Which of the following should not be included in the resume? Contact number, education, height, and religion. Alin kaya sa tatlo ang hindi pwede sa resume? 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. The correct answer is height and resume. So, sino kaya ang nangunguna ngayon? Let's check. Okay, si Jenaline pa rin ang nangunguna. So last question. Question number 5. Answer fast to get more points. Will you do the job? Is a general question on the applicants. Is it skills, motivation, or adaptability? So, saan dyan ang tamang answer? Three, two, one. Time is up. So the correct answer is motivation. So let's check if sino pa rin ang nanguna, if Jenaline pa kaya. Wow. Si Jenaline pa rin ang nangunguna with 4,905 points. So congrats, Jenaline. So to formally start our seminar today, this afternoon, today we are privileged to have the Vice President of External Relations and International Affairs Office to give his insights on how to write a winning cover letter and resume. Ladies and gentlemen, a virtual applause to Dr. Rinaldo C. Castro. Sir, good afternoon. For a while, sorry, sir.
All right, thank you. Sino kaya yun si Jenaline? Would like to ask her to type the full name.
Jenaline, can you open your camera first?
Here, Jenaline Mangyo. Ayan, congratulations, no? You are consistent and you won the activity. Galing, no? All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ray Castro. I'm in charge of the External Relations and International Affairs of the university. Let me share my screen. Welcome to our Caed 500 class. Your Caed 500 is a unique course, no, offered in the University of Mindanao for our senior students, for students who are about to finish their degree. Probably most of you are in your final years of your schooling. Probably some of you are still in your junior years, no? This course is offered to help you to bolster your chances of getting the job that you want, no, after your graduation. And that's why it's unique, because you cannot find this in other school, in other university, in other college. And another unique thing about this course is that it has three components. No, it's handled by three different teachers, no, different facilitators, and there are three components. The first component is handled by the Guidance and Testing Center. Usually, your first part of your Caed 500 happened on the first 3 weeks of our term classes, no? The second component and the third component are handled by our office, no? The ERIAO, the External Relations and International Affairs, and part of the session, part of your component B is our session today. All right. This is how you are being assessed in Caed 500. I think I've seen Najra, no? Najra from criminology, from criminal justice education, no? Hi Nasra, I know Nasra. Good afternoon. So for component A, that's 30% of your grade. For component B, this is how you are being graded in component B, no? Kaya importante malaman ninyo how you are being assessed in your CAID 500, because if others are incomplete, or if you have no grade in your CAID 500 after the term, you will know where to approach or whom to approach, no, in your CAID 500. So for component B, your attendance today, that's 35 points in your component B. So you should not miss the session today. You will be required to submit a sample application letter and resume. That's 30 point each. And there will be coaching session by your CAID 500 facilitator, no? Later on, it will be flash on screen who are in charge of your CAID 500 for each code. After the Guidance and Testing Center, some of our staff in the External Relations and International Affairs will be assigned to your specific code to facilitate, no, to help you breeze through the CAID 500 course. For component C, there will be another seminar and mock interview. That's 40 points. You will be required to submit career portfolio. That's 35 points. We will have culmination program. That's 20 points. And another coaching. That's 5 points. No? Okay. So take note of that. This is how you will be graded in your CAID 500, and this is the things that you need to comply, things that you need to require to submit, no, for you to be able to pass CAID 500. So it's not as difficult as your other courses. All right. For this session this afternoon, these are the three topics that we are going to discuss. Now I'm going to share to you. One is that how are you going to write a winning cover letter and resume, how to ace in your job interview. And you see, these first two topics are very important in your job search process, no? When you're going to apply for job, no, especially for the job that you wish to have after your graduation, these things These first two things are the things that you need to comply. And then some topic about social media etiquette. All right. So let's start with the first topic. Why write a cover letter? And cover letter is popularly known as the application letter. No? You call that cover letter because it's the first document, the first page, no, the first document that the interviewer or the hiring officer will see, no, from the documents that you are going to submit to them. All right. So why write a cover letter? One purpose there is that to show your communication skills, particularly your writing skills. Remember this, Caed 500 students, that regardless of your course, regardless of your degree, of your profession, there will come a point in your life, in your career, that you are going to write something, no? And the thing there is that this is the first test of your potential employer, of your future employer, to know whether you can write, right? So whether you are criminology, whether you are engineering, whether you are computer science or education, you are going to write, you are going to communicate, no? The second part is, or the second reason is to highlight purpose of the letter and introduce the writer or you to the reader, no? What's the purpose? Why you are writing? What is it all about? All right. So you are going to write your intention there, no? To give the reader an idea whether to continue reading the rest of your documents or not. All right. So how are you going to write a winning cover letter? What is the format? No? Since you are required to submit a sample application letter, then we will be showing to you a format. No? This is how you are going to do it. All right. So you have your heading, and this is optional. No, in your heading you may include your address, of course. No, specific address and the date of your writing. The inside address contains the name of the employer or the name of the addressee. Now, if you do not know the exact name, the correct name, or to whom you are going to address the letter, you have to exert effort. You have to call the company, you pay the visit, no, you give a ring, find out kung kanino mo talaga i-address ang letter. Caed 500 students, remember this. Never ever submit a letter. Even if it is not an application letter, whatever letter it is, no, as long as it is a letter, never ever submit a letter without a name of the addressee. So you have to get the name of the addressee, the correct position, no? Because that's formal, all right? You have to exert effort. So for example, Joanne Santos, HR manager. Make it sure that Joanne Santos is the HR manager. She might be the VP for HR, and by writing their HR manager, you have demoted her. Okay? And then the name of the company and address. All right? Salutation. It says here that you have to be formal in the tone of your salutation. After all, the entire document, the entire application letter must have a formal tone. And you start that with your salutation. So what do I mean is that common in our writing letter, in our letter writing, is that we write their dear, no? Well, it's okay for you to write dear if you know the person, okay? If you know each other for quite some time, and the communication, the letter does not require so much formality. No, I mean it's not so legalist, it's not so corporatist in nature. That's why you may write there dear. But if it is an application letter, to accord some respect to the person that you are sending the letter, then you do not write the word dear. No, so you just say Miss Santos. Okay. First paragraph, it says here that you state how did you get to know the information about the job opening and mention your interest for the position. So why is it that it's important for them to know about the sources of information, or how did you get to know about the job opening? Well, they want to find out whether, if they have done massive information dissemination about the job opening, they want to know whether the thing that they did, no, the strategy that they did, the method that they did was effective or not. Okay. And then your intention for the position. So you include that in your letter, no, in your first paragraph. The second paragraph, that's where you are going to describe your qualifications, no, your capability, including your experience, no. Whether it's an OJT experience or professional work, You sell yourself, you sell your skills and your knowledge relevant to the position, which means that do not, when you write your skills there, when you write capabilities and competencies and any characteristics about yourself, make it sure that these characteristics are relevant to the requirement of the position. These characteristics are necessary for you to perform the function. Okay? All right. So, simple lang, no? Paano magsulat ng inyong, paano nyo ibenta ang sarili ninyo? Unang-una, what are your experience related to the position? That's number one. And number two, what are your characteristics? What are your attributes? What are your attitude? What are your behavior, no? Whether you are that person who is team player, all right, who have the ability to adapt to varying environment, different environment situation, and you think that these characteristics are necessary for you to perform the job. The third paragraph, which will be your last paragraph, is the closing paragraph. You end your letter by thanking the reader and requesting for an interview. You may include there in the third paragraph or in your closing paragraph your contact number and your email address. Why is that so? You see, these are two important means of communication, especially if the hiring officer, no, the company finds something interesting in your application, they find your application and your resume impressive, and they wish to you to undergo the next stage, probably the interview, then that's how they are going to contact you, no, through your email address and your contact number. That's why it's very important that this contact number and email address are functioning, no. Next, your closing. You may write there sincerely or respectfully. Do not write very truly yours, no? Because as I said that you have to be very formal in the tone of your letter, and writing there very truly yours is not formal at all. Tagalogin mo ang very truly yours, no? 'Di ba? Ako'y iyong buong buo. Hindi na siya formal, okay? So, wag. Tayo pa naman Pinoy, mahilig tayo magkopya. Mahilig tayo pag nakita natin na ginawa 'yon, sinulat yon, kinokopya natin. Alright? Pag-isipan natin if it is the proper way of doing it or putting that into our application letter. And then your name, and then do not forget your signature. So Caed 500 students, that's your first assignment. You are going to write your example application letter, and your Caed 500 facilitator will give you specific instruction and details on how are you going to go about it and how are you going to upload that in your LMS. All right. Next up, this is a sample application letter, no, submitted by one of our students in the Caed 500 last year. Yeah, was already pandemic when we had this, and it follows the format that we said, no, we gave to our students, no, the first paragraph, the second paragraph, and the third paragraph. All right. Let's proceed to the next document, which is your resume. It says here that the resume is your personal brochure to market yourself. It should give your potential employer a quick view of what you can do for them. So that's how important resume is, no? It's just like, you know, if you are thinking of buying a new phone, a new laptop, a gadget, or you remember when you were still in your final years in your senior high school and you were like, you know, thinking of where to enroll, what course to enroll, di ba? If you remember the time, probably you have collected a number of brochures, no? And you take a look at it, you consider what are published there in the brochure that may convince you to select which school and what course you are going to take, or which phone, what laptop you are going to buy based on the brochures that you have. So it's the same thing. That's what resume represents to an employer. They're going to collect resume as a brochure, but unlike to a brochure that sometimes the color, the type of layout, no, how beautiful the layout is, sometimes will convince you, no, to select that product or choose that brochure. In the resume, it's the content. All right, it's the content. It's not about the layout much, but it's about the content. Okay, but also you have to follow a certain format. Okay, so it says here that for no graduates just like you can list your accomplishments in school. Well, especially if you have no work experience, no, wala ka trabaho, ay hindi ka nakapagtrabaho, no, professional students ka, full-time student ka, no, then what you can do is that you can list your accomplishments in school. That's why it's important that while you are still in school, what have you done? What things that you have accomplished? No? What are extracurricular, extra activities that you have participated, that you were involved while you were still in the university? That's how important it is, no? Because especially as I said, if you have no work experience at all, you have no professional work experience. Well, unless you have work experience, then that's a thing that you can include there in your resume. Do not worry about not having work-related accomplishments. You pick out those school accomplishments that show responsibility, dependability, cooperative spirit, and the like. Okay? So this is the format, no? This is how you're going to arrange your resume. This is in particular order. The most important information must be the first thing that you are going to write there in your resume. So most important there is of course your name, your address. Why address is important? Because these potential companies of yours will do background investigation. They will visit your barangay, your purok, no? Ask your purok leader if you are really a resident there, if you are participating in the community activity of your village, of your purok, no, of your area. All right? Your contact number and your email address are still there. Your summary statement, no, the summary statement is a gist of you. It's a gist of your qualification. It's a statement or two that speaks about your capabilities and your potentials, no. And then you have your work or school experience, including OJT. Why is it important? Why you have to include that? Because with your OJT or with your work experience, it will give an impression to your potential employer that with your exposure, at least you have developed some sense of responsibility, some sense of maturity. No, you are that person because of your work experience, all right, or OJT exposure. Um, your experience matters to them when it comes to at least you have experience following protocols, following orders, no, following guidelines of the organizations, no. You wear uniform, you wear ID, you submit uh, expected tasks on time, you know how to take orders, no, follow orders from your superior, from your supervisor, you know what I mean. So that's how important work or OJT experience is, no. And then you have their job responsibilities, no, accomplishments, and education. For our Caed 500 students, if you have questions, you type your questions in the chat box. After my talk later, no, I will entertain your questions. I will answer all your questions, no. And by the way, I think we are live in YouTube, no. We are streamed live in YouTube channel, University of Mindanao. So for those who are not able to participate in our Zoom room, then they can listen to us in our YouTube channel. And by the way, we have Pakulo. We want to hit more subscribers in our official YouTube channel. So we ask our students to hit the subscribe button, University of Mindanao, and ring and click the notification bell so that you will be updated, no, in our latest video uploads. And by the way, for those new subscribers, from now until Thursday, if you have subscribed to our YouTube channel, we will select 5 winners. No, Marvin will show to you later after my talk probably what you are going to receive if you will be chosen as our winners. No, best subscribers or subscribers, new subscribers for the week. All right. Okay. So let me continue with our resume. So when you prepare your resume, make it sure that your resume, the content of your resume answers the following questions. No? So this will be your checklist. No? When you write your resume, prepare your resume, encode your resume, make it sure that the content of your resume have answered. No? This one. One is that, what can you do for me? So it talks about your potentials, your ability, what experience do you have? Do you have the skills I'm looking for? So if there's a need for you to like manipulate, operate a machine and equipment, like engineering, architecture, HRM, computer science, no, these disciplines require technical knowledge of particular machines and equipment and the like. All right. So if there's a need for you to perform that, then the question there is that, do you have the knowledge? Do you have the skills? Can you do it? All right. Where have you worked before? That's why I emphasize that your work experience also matters to them, because if you are exposed, if you are placed somewhere, or if you have experience working in another company, at least your, as I said, your level of maturity and your responsibility is a little bit higher compared to if you don't have any experience at all. Okay. Is your experience relevant to my needs? Do you have the right education and credentials? What kind of person are you? So it talks about your behavior, all right, your attitude, your attributes. Later on, I'm going to talk about social media etiquette, because that's how, companies, and in fact, I learned that applicants who have LinkedIn profile are most likely to be hired by companies. Or if you include that in your resume, that you have a LinkedIn account, then there's a possibility, you have higher possibility that you will be hired for the job. Why is that so? Because people, according to a report, that people or applicants who have LinkedIn profile are more mature applicants, no? Because LinkedIn has a system that they don't allow their members to speak, anything that's not professional, to speak something bad to other person, to rant, whatever it is, no? Whatever it is that is not pleasing to the tastes of other people, all right? Unlike in other social media account, like for example, so in Facebook, in Twitter, 'di ba? I heard that in Twitter, there are many rants there. No? Ang daming mga trolls and the like. And yeah, I found out it late recently. So, hindi pwede sa LinkedIn yon. So, I do not know if I'm like encouraging you to create a LinkedIn profile. Okay? And it's a professional network anyway. So, I suggest that you may create, no? You can create a LinkedIn profile. And where can I contact you? No? So as I said, that when you write, when you prepare your resume, you try to revisit these 7 questions and find out if your resume has answered. No? The contents of your resume has answered all these 7 items. And then you have to emphasize skills, no? And you know, companies will not hire someone who don't have any skills at all. No? And these are the generic skills that they are looking for an applicants, regardless of what field, what discipline you are. As I said, whether you are a graduate of mass comm, a business administration, an education, no? Even technical courses like criminology, engineering, architecture, no? These skills are very necessary. These are generic skills. So when I say generic skills, regardless of your field or discipline, no? So topping the list is communication skills. So what do we mean by communication skills? Communication skills does not mean only your ability to speak in English, but communication skills is your ability to talk, to discuss, to communicate, to relay a message, no? To express yourself, to process the information that you have received, and your ability also to express that. You know what I mean? Okay. So that's what do you mean by communication skills. So you can test a person's communication skills by inviting that person over a cup of coffee or over a cup of tea somewhere, no? And then you discuss something, some social issues. All right. Kaya may sinasabi, no, may kasabihan, may adage that says that, unprofessional people, they talk about people. 'Di ba? In short, mga libakera, libakero, 'di ba? You talk about person, you talk about personality of the person. But professional and educated people, they talk about ideas. They talk about issues. You know what I mean? All right? So you don't attack the personality of the person, but you attack the idea, you attack the situation. All right? So learn how to communicate well. Learn how to express yourself in an educated and professional manner. All right. Second is problem solving. Of course, it's your ability to solve problem. No, probably during job interview, you will be given a situation, and how are you going to manage yourself during that situation? All right. Third is responsibility. No, eagerness to learn. Ibig sabihin, you are willing to learn at your age, no? Hindi ka boastful, hindi ka audacious, wala kang sense of entitlement. Eh, yan pa naman ang problema sa henerasyon ninyo, no? May impression sa henerasyon ninyo that you really have sense of entitlement. At hindi ko alam kung saan nagagaling yung sense of entitlement na yan, no? Although I'm not saying that all of you, but that's one thing that we notice from your generation, no? All right? Creative thinking, all right? That you are creative minded person, all right? There are innovative ideas, innovative thing that you have done for yourself. Number 6 is people skills or social skills. No, it's your ability to network, to have friends with quality people. When I say quality people, uh, these are people that, they have potential to help you someday. They have achieved better status in life. All right? Okay. Halimbawa ako, I remember when I was 20s, most of my friends are in their 30s and they are professionals. No? That's why it was not difficult for me to find a job. It was not difficult for me to find a nice career because there were people around who were able to help me breeze through that, no, ambition, that desire of me. So like for example, in your social media account, sample sa imong Facebook, if you have 500 friends, now how many of these friends of yours you think are quality friends? I mean, someone who have achieved higher status in life. Baka majority of them are pareho lang sa imuha, no? I mean, how these people can help you find a better job. Eh, pareho lang, mag-compete. Kakompetensya lang nini mo sila, di ba? So, wala. Alright? How many of your friends in your social media account are probably, they are not really your friends. But, you have not seen them and connect ka lang, di ba? And how many of them are actually of quality, have achieved certain status in their lives, di ba? So, ano ka ba? Media influencer ka ba? Social media influencer ka ba that you want more followers? But they are not quality, no? Ang sinasabi natin that they are loyal regardless of the kind of post that you have. Oh, they are there, 'di ba? Pero mag-post ka daw ng something that will not interest them, they will hit the like button or comment something. You know what I mean? Okay? Oh. So it's not about paramihan ng likes or paramihan ng friends mo or paramihan ng nagko-comment, but it's about who among them are true friends of yours, no? And someday that when you need help from them, then they are there to help you. All right? Oh. So that's what do you mean by social skills, okay? Personal skills, self-management, and technical skills. All right? In fact, a typical example of self-management, your decision to pursue your education despite our challenging situation right now is also a self-management, no? Because regardless of the difficulty, regardless of the challenge, you pursue your ambition, no? You pursue your dream because after all, this will not last, no? For sure, we will get through this very, very soon. And the time that we will go back to our old normal, then and once you are done in your education, no, in your study, then you are ready for the world of work, for the next chapter of your life. Okay? And how are you going to develop these skills? Of course, you go to school, the formal education, your social activities, you mingle with other people that you can learn from them when they talk, no? When you go with them, you can also get something out from them, no? Your hobbies, all right? Your volunteer work, house chores, no? And your community work, okay? Your house chores, doing some house chores is something that will discipline you. All right. Ang ano pa naman sa henerasyon ninyo, di ba? You spend so much time in your gadget, in your computer, in your laptop, in your cell phone, in your tablet. And when you wake up in the morning, you cannot even fix your bed, di ba? Oh, so it's about discipline. Doing house chores is about disciplining yourself. It's about learning, no? Learning how to prioritize things, no? What are the priority things or the urgent things that you need to give yourself an attention? Okay. Now, important points to remember when applying during the pandemic, because most likely since nasa Caed 500 na kayo and the time that you will apply for jobs, baka ganito pa ang sitwasyon natin, no? Or if you will be asked questions like, what have you done during the pandemic? So what you can do is that you can emphasize telecommunication skills and productivity tools, right? You learning the LMS, the learning management system, the Zoom account, Slack, GoToMeeting, productivity tools like Notion. What are these? All right. These things, no, you have to know this because when you work someday, you will have your job. These things will help you. No. Pag sinasabi mo productivity tools, this is how you organize your stuff. This is how you organize your lesson. It's just like, in your LMS, you organize your topics, your e-resources, no, your assignments and everything, all right? The learning management system like the Blackboard that we are using in the University of Mindanao is teaching you how to do productivity tools, particularly in organizing your stuff online, all right? So there are other productivity tools that you may explore because you cannot bring Blackboard LMS when you graduate. No? So there are other productivity tools. So aside from Notion, you also have their Google Workspace, all right? There is Microsoft Teams. But in UM, we are using Google Workspace because ang Gmail na ginagamit ninyo, of course, ang email na ginagamit ninyo is Gmail for you to connect to your LMS. You know what I mean? So, ibig sabihin that you should be knowledgeable in all this stuff, all right? These things are not foreign to you because you are in the iGen, no? In the iGen. Okay? Technology generation. Showcase the ability to adapt to rapid changes. All right? Your ability to adapt. Big sabihin that you see classes are done remotely. Probably some of you are working remotely, no? In your home. It's also challenging. I'm telling you, ako, mahirap sa akin mag-work at home. Mahirap sa akin magtrabaho na nasa bahay or mahirap sa akin magtrabaho remotely. Because the environment, if I'm working at home, is not an office environment. It's not a working environment. So there is something that is telling me that, especially if I'm in my room, in my bedroom, ay goodness, I am not productive if I'm going to work in my bedroom because my bed is telling me, hey, come on, take a rest and you nap and then you sleep, diba? So it's about your ability to adapt to changes, to ever-changing environment, diba? Ibig sabihin, it talks about your agility, your resiliency, no, diba? Okay. How long should a resume be? I think it's part of the mentee activity a while ago. It says here that it should be 2 pages only because HR people are busy people. So you should know how to compress, how to find, how to determine, how to select the most important information that you have to include in your resume. What should I include in my personal data? So in general, you avoid facts that may be used to discriminate against you. So again, it's included in the Mentimeter that height and weight and religion should not be in your resume. Why? Because what is the importance of this information to your application? Nothing. It will just open doors for discrimination. So for example, height, no? Tapos ikaw 4'9" ka, nag-apply ka na accounting staff. O anong connection sa height sa, 'di ba? Pagiging accounting staff. Unless tourism ka, apply ka sa airline industry or ang NBI, I think, although I heard that there's a bill in the Congress for criminology graduate, no, nag-specify ng height requirement. I think it's 5'6". I'm not sure. For criminology students, you may correct me, no, if I'm wrong. But again, in the Congress, there's a bill that scrap no? The height requirement for you to join the NBI or the police force, no? Should you include your picture in your resume? My suggestion there is do not include your picture. Why is that so? Because again, of what important unless you're applying for a model, no, a modeling job, okay? But it's not. So remember that we human beings have biases in good looks, no? So if we think that we are not good looking, then we ask the photographer to do some Photoshop. Then we put that Photoshop picture in our resume, and during the interview sometimes it will surprise, no, the applicant. Kung si Benji pa na, sinasabi ni Benji merong expectation versus reality, no? Okay, so expectation nila na ganito, and then in reality it's different, o di ba? So medyo nakakahiya 'yon, no? Parang bullying na 'yon, all right? Eh dahil sa kakagawan mo. So I suggest not, unless explicitly mentioned that when you submit your resume, you include your picture, then you do that. But if there's no mention at all during the announcement, then you may submit your photo later on. Okay? So the other document that you are going to submit for component B in Caed 500 is your sample resume. All right. So two documents na, no? One is your sample application letter and the other one is your resume. So dalawang documents ang i-ready ninyo, isa-submit niyo yan, and the Caed 500 facilitators will give you instruction on how are you going to do that, no? Submit, no? Well, sinasabi kanina that the purpose of the application letter is for you to get a job. The answer was false, no? Because the purpose of your application letter and of your resume is not for you to get a job, but the purpose of application letter and your resume is for you to get an interview. So you might be wondering why after submitting your application letter and your resume, you have not received any feedback from the company. You were not called for interview. Simple. Your application letter and your resume are not written impressively, no? Hindi siya impressive, no? It doesn't caught the attention of the employer. So, pero pag natawagan ka, no, na-inform ka that you are going to proceed to the next stage of the screening, congratulations. So, the purpose of the resume is for you to get an interview. The purpose of the interview is for you to get the job. So the interview is the deciding factor, no? Kung ako ang hiring officer and there are like a dozen or two applying for the position, then I will decide who among the applicants best suit to the position based on the performance in the interview. So it's just like beauty contest, no? Mga Miss World, Miss Universe, mga ganon, di ba? The basis of the judges is in the interview. Dumaan ka na sa andaming screening, no? Mga swimsuit competition, mga national costume, mga talent and the like. And the last phase of the competition is the interview. So it's just like job application, the last phase is the interview. Kaya instill ninyo that you really have to perform well during the job interview. Preparation is half the battle. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to breeze through the interview? It says here, preparation is half the battle. How are you going to prepare, no, the interview? Well, remember this, Caed 500 students, that questions in the job interview are the same over and over again. So I will be sharing to you some of the questions. So why is it that you cannot answer the question? Diba? Or why is it that you cannot deliver your responses well? Okay. So how candidates behave during the interview is often seen as an indicator of how they will perform. So importante dito is that itong next line is confidence, no? So if you are confident, no, if you are spontaneous in your answer, then it will give an impression that you can really perform the job even if you are not, no? 'Di ba lumabas doon sa ating mentee exercise that the best applicant gets the job? No, the best interview gets the job. Even if you are the most qualified applicant, no, you have the best experience, the best exposure and the like, but you're not good during the interview, you will not get the job, I'm telling you, no? The more you know about the purpose of the interview and the organization, the better your response to the question. So, tip lang yan, no? Yan ang pinaka-importanting tip. Alamin ninyo kung ano ang organization, no? Ano ang kanilang vision and mission, ano ang kanilang product or service, ano ang kanilang service, no? Kung mag-apply kayo sa government, anong pinaka existence nila, ano ang pinaka purpose of existence, no, ng organization na yan. All right? So it's just like, you know, if you're into intimate romantic relationship, before you go into that, 'di ba? You are going to do some research about the person, no, of your interest, no, 'di ba? Although, you know, young people, sa inyo na uso nga ang kasabihang hashtag walang forever, di ba? Kasi nagsasawa ang tao eh. Law of economics yan, no? Kung dumaan kayo sa economics na class, na-discuss yan yung law of economics na law of diminishing marginal utility. So tingnan ninyo, ang latest ngayon si Paulo Contis at saka si LG Reyes. Kasi nagsasawa talaga ang tao, di ba? May gusto kang kainin, o may gusto kang gadget, may gusto ka sa buhay mo. Once na-acquire mo na yan, time will come, nagsasawa ka talaga and you will look for another one. So, pareho din yan sa intimate and romantic relationship. Kaya, you have to make it sure. Sa job, ganun din. Alamin mo, no? You have to know the organization well because it will be asked from you, no? Why is it that you are applying in our organization? What do you know about our organization and the like? And if you cannot answer this question, it's going to be a faux pas in your part. No? It's going to be a big blow on your part. Okay? Do not expect that you will be hired. All right? So pareho lang yan kung nangligaw kayo, tapos tinanong ka nung girl, nung niligawan mo, hindi ka makasagot about sa kanya, wala na, bye ka na, no? So, dapat ganun din ang gawin ng mga girl. Dili kay, pag nakita nila ilahang crush na, ngulitaw sa ilaham, pitok-pitok din ilang mata, no? Sulirap din ilang mata, na makalimot na sila sa ilang apelyido. Diba? So, it's not. Dapat ano ka, no? Careful ka, alright? Are you like still there? Sige, thumbs up nga, virtual thumbs up. Virtual thumbs up. Sige. Okay. So what the hiring managers are looking for during the job interview, no? Ano ang mga questions, ano ang mga idea, ano ang mga topics na i-raise nila? First is the ability to perform the job, no? If I am the employer, if I am the hiring officer, I am looking for someone who can perform the job, then I will look for someone who can do that, who have the knowledge, who have the ability, who have the competencies, who have the skills, no? So that's why I called you for an interview, because I want to validate if you can do that, no? So kaya don't be afraid, no? Flaunt your knowledge, flaunt your competencies, all right? Now, if you are knowledgeable in terms of skills, in terms of ability, in terms of competencies, then the next question is about your fitness, no? Your culture and personality. Kabalo ka tuod, pero no, may pagkamaldita ka, may pagkasuplada ka, di ba? May pagka-sense of entitlement ka, di ba? So, wala, ex ka rin, di ba? Alangan naman, ako employer, ako ang magiging boss, or ako ang company, no? Magkuha de ko ba to ipukpok sa akong ulo, di ba? So, of course not, all right? Ayaw ko mag-hire ng someone na maglabad lang in the future. Okay? Third, motivation and enthusiasm. All right? I am looking for someone who is highly motivated and who is really interested and excited to work, no, in my organization. That's why sometimes you are asked with the question, how do you see yourself in 10 years? Diba? So, why is it that question is being asked to you? Because they want to know what drive you, no, in your career, what is important to you in terms of your ambition, in terms of your direction, in terms of your aspiration in life. Is it your career or is it something else? I hope you get what I mean, no? All right? So, kung ako employer, because the intention, the purpose why we are having the interview is that it's about career, no? It's about my intention to work for someone who can perform the job, and it's about your career, all right? So let's talk about career. So when I ask something about your priorities in life, do not tell me about personal priorities, no? But tell me about your career direction, no? Your career intention. Okay? All right. Your past accomplishments, how you can help the organization. Whether you were achiever when you were still in college, when you were still in the university, speaks a lot about your potentials in the future. What you can do for me if I'm going to hire you. All right. Your knowledge of the company, because I said that if you have prior knowledge about the company, about my company, if you did research, then I will be impressed because talagang pinaghandaan mo yon. Talagang gustong-gusto mo na mag-work sa company ko or sa organization namin. No? So if I will be asking question, if I am the hiring officer and if I will be asking question like, why do you want to work in my company, in my organization? So you can respond by saying that, I have read your vision and mission statement, which states that. So you memorize the vision and mission statement. And then you would say that, and that vision and mission statement is in nexus with my philosophy statement in life, which also states that. So you construct a philosophy statement that is in nexus, that has connection to the vision and mission statement of the company. And then from there, you proceed by saying that you see there is a perfect match, no? In your vision and mission statement with my philosophy statement in life. May kung po itong HR kuya, waring bataan niyo, na memorya man yun niya among vision and mission statement. Ako gani, di gani ko ka-memorya, no? Okay? And if I will be given the opportunity to work in your company and if we will be hired for this position, I believe that I can contribute to the furtherance of the organization. And I see myself growing in this company over the years. O, di ba? So, it will give an impression that talagang pinaghandaan mo, no? Talagang alam na alam mo what is this company all about, what is this position all about, no? And the other one is your communication skills, all right? They are going to observe the way that you communicate, the way that you pick your words, no? The way that you select your statement, the way that you construct your statement, the way that you structure your answer. Okay? All right. Kasi ano kayo you have achieved a degree. So ibig sabihin, talagang pinag-aralan mo yan, magaling na bata to. They will not hire someone who is not magaling, no? Let's accept the fact, all right? So that's why perfect itong moment na ito na nasa Caed 500 kayo, na nasa school pa kayo, because if you think no one is perfect, let's accept that, no? No one is perfect. Even if you are professional, you're not perfect. But you have to find ways where you can make improvement of yourself. If you think that you are not good in this aspect, then you have to do something to improve in this aspect. If you think that this talent, this particular skill is necessary for you to propel to your career, no? To your career ambition, to your career goal, then you have to do something. This is the time for you because you are still in the university. Okay? So generally, what employers are looking for from you during job interview, di ba sabi natin that dapat alam mo na, prepared. Preparation is half the battle, no? So one is that, can you do the job? So it's about your skills, your talents, your competencies, and your abilities. Okay? As I said, if there's a need for you to use an equipment, a machine, okay, or make use of a system, an online system, pareho niya, no? Marketing graduate or mass comm graduate or marketing, no? I would expect that anong pinaka-importante na skill ng isang marketing? I will expect you that if you're marketing, you must be good in communication, right? But aside from that, dapat may talent ka, no? May skill ka in layouting, mga Adobe Photoshop, in designing, dapat marunong ka nun. Kasi marketing ka and advertising, no, 'di ba? That's one area that you may delve into. And if you do not know how to lay out, how to design, and how to use software in the computer when it comes to mga mood board, 'di ba? Mga mood board, mga design, whatever is that, no? I mean, 'di ba? So if you think that you don't possess that right now, then you have to do something because that is what is expected from you if you are a marketing graduate, no? Okay? Second one is that, okay, you have the skills, the talents, The other one is, will you do the job? In the mentee activity, if you remember, this was asked. And will you do the job is a question about motivation. So talented ka nga, but the next question is that your interest. What about your right values to work, your motivation, no? Um, so you will be asked, okay, during job interview, the interviewer will tell you that, you know, we are from Metro Manila. Our main office is in Metro Manila, in Makati. But we have branches in Baguio and Cebu, no? In other parts of the country. So ikaw, excited ka, wow, pwede ko sa Manila, pwede ko sa Cebu, isip-isip mo na ng gano'n, no? And that's why we're here in Davao, because isip mo mag-put up ng brand sa Davao, no? We're here in Davao because, you know, we're responding to government's Marawi rebuilding program, no? And we are planning to put up a branch there in Marawi. And that's why we're here in Davao, because we believe that there are good talents here in Davao. Na di makagusto mo adtong Marawi, 'di ba? So where is now the interest? All right? Where is now the right values to work? Okay? So wala na, X ka na agad. Or sometimes the interviewer will tell you that if you will be hired, although you are going to work normally 8 hours a day, but sometimes you have to work more than that, no? There are cases where we ask our staff to work more than 8 hours. Are you willing to do that, no? Ikaw, ariat-ariat ka, di ka gusto, di ba? So wala na, no? X ka na agad. Okay? Third question is about, will you fit in the company and its culture? So it's all about your interpersonal skills, your ability, adaptability, your assimilation, no? Your embracing to the culture, no? Your divergence to the organization. All right? Divergence ba? Convergence pala, your convergence to the organization. And then your positive work attitude. Okay? Now, sometimes it's difficult for us, no, to answer questions, no, and it will take quite sometimes for us to think, how am I going to start this? How am I going to respond to this question? Because you lack structure. You develop a structure in your answers, no. This is how. One is that you answer the question in a simple and straightforward way. If you're asked something, then you answer that, no. If you're ask a situation, then you describe a situation, then you give supporting evidence, no? Wrap it up and restate your point. So for example, if you are asked, what is your greatest strength as a person? So my greatest strength is adaptability, no? Or the ability to adapt to varying situation. So when you answer that, that's straight, simple, and straightforward. But do not end your question, your answer there, no? You give an example. How is it? How are you going to relate that? No, what example, what experience you have in the past that you can prove that you have an adaptability attitude? You know what I mean? And then you wrap it up. How do you think that that adaptability attitude is important in the performance of the job? No? Okay? Excited ako sa inyo Caed 500 students, because in our next session, we will have a mock interview. No? Some of you will be asked through a digital raffle, no? If who will be participate in the mock interview, if who will be participating in the mock interview. Aside from that, there will be sessions also with your Caed 500 facilitators where you are going to have an interview. We will be also conducting a career fair. We will invite HR from different industries to do the job interview for you, no, as if you are applying in a job. And then you will be receiving some feedback from them, no, some tips, no, how are you going to improve yourself. We're doing that. Why ang daming mga ganon-ganon, no? We're doing that because I personally believe that the more that you undergo those kind of dreaded moments, no, exciting moment in your life, the more that you can develop confidence. All right. If the more that you go through that process of being in the interview, undergoing an interview, facing that dreaded and tension-filled moments, well, I believe that the more that you can gain confidence, and it will be easy for you the time that you will be facing your actual job interview. Well, it's going to be a breeze through on your part, no? Okay, so see if you agree with me. If you disagree with me, then you just type something there in the chat box and explain why do you disagree. Okay, Some of the common job interview questions that will be raised, well, basic, tell me something about yourself, introduce yourself, no? Well, the tip here is that do not get personal or long-winded. Why this question is being asked? Because remember about your skills, about your ability to do the job. That is why this question is asked, because I am interested of sharing to me what are your exposures, what are your characteristics, what you can tell me about yourself that are relevant to the performance of the position. Okay? All right. What do you know about our company? So try to reveal that you know not only facts about the company, but that you have taken an analytical view of the company. What are their services? What are their products? When was the organization was established? What is nice about the organization, and what interests you to be part of that organization, and how do you think with your training, with your education, with your interest, you can help the organization in some ways. All right, even if you will be new to the position, for sure you can make contribution, no? I remember when I applied for group study exchange program sponsored by Rotary decades back, no? The team will be was sent to the United States, and I was asked, why we have to choose you, no? Something like that. So I have to look for my competitive advantage. I have to look for something that I possess, which I think that others don't have, no? Okay. And if I have this, then how these competencies and abilities that I have will be helpful for our trip to US, no? Something like that. So you have to do background investigation. You have to do deep research, no? Good research about the position and about the job. All right. What is your greatest weakness? Ito remember again that we are not a perfect being. No, no one is perfect. That's number one. Number two, this is not a beauty pageant interview. This is a job interview. For beauty pageants, sinasabi nila na, oh, there is nothing wrong that there is nothing wrong. I don't have any weakness because I believe that I am a perfect being made by the Almighty. Correct ka naman doon, no? But the thing there is that why this question is being asked, number one, the interviewer is not interested about your weakness, but the interviewer is interested of your ability to recognize mistake, no? To accept mistake and learn from that mistake, no? The most important thing there is that how you turn that weakness into something else, how you overcome that weakness so that you will not be affected by that, no? It will not ruin you. All right? For example, ako, ang weakness ko is that I'm an impatient person, no? Especially if I'm stuck in a traffic, I don't like that. I hate that, my goodness. I do not know. There's something in me na mapraning yun ko anang ma-stuck ko sa traffic, no? Impatient kay ko ana. Especially in the morning, if I travel from my apartment coming here in the office, I'm telling you, it will destroy my mood, no? So I will not be productive the entire day. And because I know that, I acknowledge that that is my weakness, I have to overcome that, by waking up early, avoid the traffic rush, and go to the office early, and bingo, di ba? Bye-bye traffic. Wala, hindi ako na-stuck sa traffic, no? Okay, bahala ma-stuck ko sa traffic pagka gabi after my office, but at least I'm done for my day's work. All right? So think of a weakness of yourself, of course, but do not just end there, no? Find out how you overcome that, how you turn that weakness into something else. What did you do during the pandemic? Okay, you see, the pandemic expands from, more than a year. And, di ba, it's not just, I don't expect that you just stay there at home and doing nothing, no? Potential employers are interested in what puts you in better position, maybe through volunteering or developing new skills in an online course, di ba? Making yourself productive, making yourself more skillful, di ba? Make sure you have a reason for doing what you're doing this time. Otherwise, it will just look very unfocused. No, do not just select something, an answer that is not relevant to about upgrading yourself, enhancing yourself. Baka sinasabi mo, oh, I have traveled. I have like, I visited places which are prohibited to be visited. No, it was a challenge on my part that for ACQ places, I really have to go there. I mean, what important? How important are those stuff? No? Okay. Do you have any question? Ito Caed 500 students do not let the interview session ends without you asking any question. It's just like do not let the session this afternoon end without you asking questions to me. Because it's akin to saying that number one, you are not really interested. Number two, that you don't have any interest at all. You're not intimately or excited to pursue the job or participate in a session like this. No, that's why you have to ask questions. You might be wondering why you were not hired after your job interview. Simple, probably because you did not ask any question. So you have to ask question because you have to treat job interview as a form of conversation. It's not a one-way communication process, right? Can you or have worked remotely? No. Employers believe that people with remote work experience have an easier time coming into a new position because of their experience, because of their adjustments. Just like you can cite your case, no? Caed 500 students, you are still enrolled, but you are doing classes online, remotely, no? In a remote virtual modality. Is it difficult? It's so challenging. But the thing there is that you have breezed through on that, no? You have surpassed that. You have succeeded on that. The thing there is that you are not making yourself idle. Diba? Okay. Discuss your ability to thrive in a remote environment. Emphasize your ability to meet and at times exceed your goals and objectives and explain how you did that. Okay? All right. Now, I would like to share this. There's a survey done by PMAP. PMAP is an organization of HR managers in the country. So we know that HR managers are in charge of conducting interview to applicants, no? And they were asked, there's a survey, what are the common interview mistakes made by applicants? So these are the 8 lists, no? Topping the list is answering cell phone or texting. Oh, so in short, do not do this. When you're in a job interview, you switch your phone into a silent mode, okay? Or turn off your phone. Dressing inappropriately. We'll have another session, no, in our next meeting, virtual meeting. I'm going to talk about personality development. Even if the interview is done online, then you really have also to dress yourself, no, appropriately, no? Fitting, fitting for the occasion. Appearing disinterested, appearing arrogant, appearing unprepared, chewing gum. We understand that sometimes you do that, no? You chew gum because it's your way of, um, managing your tension, your emotion, and the like. But it's not good because you're showing obvious thing. No, you're showing your obvious feeling. All right. Not providing specific answers. So as I said, the best way for you to do that is you cite an example, you cite your experience, no, a situation, and not asking good questions. That's why you have to ask questions before the interview ends. Social media etiquette, no. Um, these HR hiring officers will do background investigation and they want to know whether you are professional in your dealings with other people. So one way of doing that is to check your social media accounts. No? In fact, here in the university, we are so concerned about that because students and graduates, they go back to us because employers, no, your future employers will ask you to include in your documents a certificate of good moral character. And our student affairs is the one in charge of giving you your certificate of good moral character. So our OSA is also checking, no, following some of the posts of our students. So if they found out that you have negative posts, no, you have violated the social media etiquette, then they will not issue a certificate of good moral character. So one is writing negative posts. Sinasabi natin that palayo sa mga positive na tao, no? Pero palayo gihapon create og negative energy, negative vibes, no, di ba? Kanang mag rant, no? I do not know if you have experienced that sometimes there are people na walang sala sa atua, pero pag makita nato ilang naong, no, masira ang atong adlaw. I do not know if you have experienced that, no? But sometimes there are people like that, no? All right? Wala sila sala pero makita nato sila masira ang atong adlaw because probably they have radiate negative energy, no? So we also try to distance ourselves to some people who we think that radiate negative energy or aura, di ba? So do not do that in your social media. I'm not saying that do not complain, no? You have no problem about UM. Magtira sa UM, anak good, no? I mean, yeah, no organization is perfect. I'm telling you, as I said, that no one is perfect, no organization is perfect. But the thing there is that there must be proper and professional way of you raising your concern, raising your problem. And university, people in the university are professionals. They are well trained and you have to treat them also nicely, no? All right. Well, if you think that they are not attending to their concerns, to your concerns, there are layers where you can like proceed and raise your concerns, all right? Hindi naman pwede na hindi ka na lang mag-react kasi ni sinasabi ni Sir Castro na hala, hindi ka yun magreklamo, no? Magreklamo ka, you complain. But you complain in a professional and ethical manner, right? So do not write negative posts. Second, ungrammatical posts or use of derogatory language, no? Before you post, before you publish your post in your social media for public viewing, make it sure that it's free of ungrammatical construction, all right? Because there is an impression of you that you are educated, you have achieved a certain degree, you are trained, you have attended so many communication classes and the like, no, di ba? So it is expected of you that you construct well, all right? And that you have your language are professional, no? Because the language that you express, no, the post that you have published by the time, simple. Those are reflections of your feelings and of your thinking, and those are reflections of who you are, 'di ba? So kung mali-mali ang imong post, pangit imong post, nagbitter-bitter ka diha sa imong post, 'di ba? Ikaw na no, 'di ba? Mao na imong feeling. So naga-apply ka, why will I hire you if I am the employer, 'di ba? Why will I hire you? That's you. You do not know how to manage your emotion, your feelings. You follow, you understand, okay? And third, make your posts all about you. In your social media account, all the posts are about you. Your TikTok, your performance, your OOTD, whatever it is. I mean, goodness. So what impression are you trying to show, no, to your potential employer? Ibig sabihin nun, ikaw yung tao na gusto talaga ng spotlight, no? Lahat na lang gusto mo ikaw. Okay? So kung i-hire kita, baka eksenadora ka, no? Gusto mo ng eksena always. Okay? So I will not really consider you if I have seen in your post that it's all about you. What you can do is that after all, it is being called social media account because you can discuss social issues, or if you have watched the latest Netflix series, no, and why don't you write your review there, okay? Or if you have finished reading a book, then why not write a review about that book, all right? Or about a social topic, a political topic, no, diba? So you write something about that in an educational and in a prolific manner. So these are our official marketing channels. No, as I mentioned, that maybe later Ram will show to you the gift items that we are going to give to our 5 lucky winners as new subscribers in our official YouTube channel. We want to reach more followers, more subscribers in our YouTube in the University of Mindanao. And we are going also to launch this. Ram, can you like share? We have a program also in the university that's e-consultation. No? For those of you who would like to have personalized assistance if you're applying for jobs, let's start with the gift items. No? Let's start with the gift items, and then you can start typing your question. Sige, I think there are questions here, but maybe later. No? So these are the items that we'll be giving to the 5 winners as new subscribers in our YouTube. I think you are going to take a screenshot that you have subscribed the YouTube, no, of University of Mindanao, and you post that in the LMS. And we will have an electronic raffle, because if all Caed 500 students follow our YouTube channel, so that's going to be a lot of number. How are we going to determine the winners, no? So we will select it by fate, by chance, no? So we will do an electronic raffle, and these are the prizes that you are going to receive. Next slide is the e-career consultancy, no? So for those of you, or if you have friends who are graduates of UM and are planning to apply for jobs, or who want personalized advice, we can do that to you. You just check this poster in our Facebook page, no? And then there's a form there for you to get a schedule. We will assist you in your application process, no? Okay, so we call this e-career consultancy. All right? Sige. Thank you very much. And then there are questions here.
Yes, sir. We have questions here from Laila Rose. Sir, what can you advise those people who feel nervous during the interview?
Noon ang sabi nila, maglagay ka daw ng coin sa shoes. May nabasa ako na explanation doon. No? I think it's true because the metal will absorb down, no, the tension and everything. So, maalala ko noon, when I was student, I participated in various stage competitions like mga declamation, oration, speech, and the like. No? So, what I usually do is that I put coins in my shoes. So, yeah, no? But normal yan, no? Just take a deep breath. Ang isang tip ko is that if I'm in an interview or if I'm in a dreaded occasion, meron akong attire na ito talaga ang sinusuot ko because it can feel me more confident. It can bolster my confidence, no? It can feel me that I am confident that I can do it. So find your niche. Ikaw mismo alam mo kung paano ka maging confident, no? Matanggal yung tension mo. And as I said that we are going to do a series of interview sessions to you, our students in Caed 500, because as I said, that the more that you undergo that process, the more that you can gain confidence. No? So sige lang. Practice lang yan. All right?
All right. Thank you, Sir Ray. Next question is coming from Rialyn Olivera. Sir, as what you have said, that we should also ask question before the interview ends. Can you please give us examples of questions what we can ask the interviewer?
Okay. Anything that's related to the position, anything that's related to the organization. For example, you may ask, because if a new hired employee, you don't expect that that person is already expert in the job, no? So meron tayong tinatawag na honeymoon period. So pwede mo tanungin that how long is the honeymoon period that your company is giving to newly hired personnel or to the newly hired employees, no? Because like in my case, I will be in a period of adjustment. If I will be given the chance to work in your organization, then I will also set that as my target, no, time frame for me to be able to master the field, to master the work that will be given to me. So normally, how long is the honeymoon period in your organization? Or if you're planning to pursue further studies, no, if you will be hired, then you can ask to the company that do you allow your employees to pursue further studies? Because like in my case, I am planning to proceed to master's degree, and I do not know if your company will allow that. Like, probably if your company will ask me to travel a lot, then that would be impossible. So maybe I will make adjustments. You know what I mean? So if those are the kind of questions that you are going to raise during job interview, then it will give an impression that this person, this applicant is really a career-oriented person. All right.
All
Okay. I
right.
hope that I answer your question.
Thank you, sir. I guess same question lang sila ni Jaya Babes. So next question is from Giovanni Garcia. Hi, Sir Ray. It was mentioned earlier that we should not let an
Same.
interview and
Kay
without
Giovanni.
asking question. I am just curious, what would be the most fit question to ask to the interview? Same, okay? So what advice can you give to student like me, sir, who will soon enter the workforce?
Okay.
Galino, sir.
Yeah, two things, Nasra. Hi, Nasra. Two things. No, one is that if you really want to work in that organization, like I know that you're criminology, Nasra, no? And if you want to work in the police force, then find out, or if you want to work in NBI or in a Bureau of Fire, for example, then try to study more about this organization. What are the works, what are the tasks of this organization, and what are the expectations of this organization? That's number one. And number two, you start establishing linkage, no? Find someone there in that organization that you can be friend with, all right? That's why importante yung sa inyong OJT, no? Kung halimbawa nag-OJT kayo and you want to work in that organization, mas maganda kung doon kayo nakaka-OJT kasi makastart na kayo na makapag-establish ng inyong linkage, no? Or ng inyong network of friends. So, find ways how are you going to establish friendship with that organization, no? Because they can provide you information if there are job openings, if there are job vacancies, and they can vouch for you, no? In the future, they can vouch for you that I know this applicant, o di ba? So kaya sinasabi natin sa ating system that sa ating culture in the Philippines that sometimes what matters is that whom you know. No, it's not. It's both. It's what you know and it's whom you know. Hindi pwede na what you know ka lang. Hindi din pwede na whom you know ka lang. No? Dapat it's both. Dapat knowledgeable ka at dapat meron kang kilala doon sa organization na yon. So those are the two things that probably you are going to prepare if you are about to finish, no? If you are about to graduate and proceed to the next phase of your life, of your career. Okay?
Okay. Wala na ba mag-question dyan? More questions? O wala na? So thank you, Dr. Ray, for sharing your insights, knowledge, and ideas and expertise to us. So now we already know, or you already know how to write a perfect cover letter and resume. So I'll be sharing to you some instructions or announcements. Okay, guys, aside from our YouTube channel, don't forget also to follow our other social media accounts like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Unimin Official for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So for the YouTube guys, please screenshot, please do screenshot as a proof po na nag-subscribe kayo sa YouTube channel natin and send it to our LMS. And by next session, or next class sa Component C, we will be announcing the 5 winners who will be receiving these giveaways. 1 mug, 1 cup, and 2 shirts. So next, the e-career consultancy. If you have also friends or ate, brothers, sisters are willing na work sa isang company pero nasa hard time to do his resume or her resume or cover letter, please visit our Facebook page. We already posted some instruction there. And then, Component B class meeting schedule will be next week, September 13 to 17, 2021. Visit your Blackboard LMS or coordinate with your Component B C coaches for your schedule. And likewise, September 21, 2021, the Component C seminar. Visit also your Blackboard LMS or coordinator with your Component B and C coaches. And then next is, here are your career coaches. Component B and C coach 1527, Miss Iza Aima Montede Ramos. Component B and C coaches, Mr. Benji Mainupas, code 1252, 3529, and 3710. Component B and C coach, Ms. Lady May Ontong, 1026, 1067, 1187. And yours truly, Marvin Feble, Component B and C coach, 2490, 2985, 1859. So again, please visit your LMS Blackboard from time to time para updated kayo sa ating mga activities. So guys, you don't have any questions? Okay. So thank you guys for your time sa pakikinig, and thank you Sir Ray for sharing your insights and ideas to us. So keep safe everyone and have a good day.
이제 여기 너무 높아 난 내 눈에 널 맞추고 싶어 Yeah, you make me your boy with love Oh my, my, my Oh my, my, my I faded all my life Want something stronger
My dude, the phone is going on.